Hey guys, it's Tim with Codex, and sitting right next to me on either side of whichever awesome thumbs these are is my super awesome co-host Jamie, also with Codex, and we're going to bring you something cool today. This is called Breaking the Code, and what it is it is an impromptu get together with me, Jamie, Sonny, whenever he's available, or anybody else that we want to bring in. We're going to sit down, we're going to have an unscripted talk with just a topic and then see what happens from there. Jamie, what are we talking about today?
Ooh, we got to go one. So for the time being, guys, we're going to be doing a lot of top fives, and it's our own personal opinions on certain characters, whether it comes from heroes, villains, storylines, comics in general, anything in the comic world. We're going to kind of break down to our own top five, which I think is cool for us because we kind of don't really know each other's boundaries when it comes to those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Like, I know Tim likes more indie and stuff that I've never heard of in my life. I'm been more of a big two guy up until recently.
And you're going to be surprised about my top five then, because only one of them is an indie character.
I didn't even know we were going to play indie into this, so I didn't pick anything indie. I was going to, and I was like, we'll keep it big two. But now that I know that, we'll be playing more indie into it as well.
Right on. Okay, so Jamie, let's go ahead and start it off. Top five heroes. This is a subjective list. This is just who we think is our personal top fives. Jamie, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Oh, yeah, and coming in with my number five. And most of you, if you guys haven't heard any of the podcasts that we've ever talked about since the big announcement with Disney Plus, my number five is Moon Knight.
Right on. Okay.
I bring in Moon Knight number five because I wasn't one of those people that kind of just, fell into Moon Knight where everyone's like, you got to check out Moon Knight, bro. Nah, I kind of found him on my own terms. A while ago, I saw the first appearance of him. What was it? Werewolf by Night?
Yeah, number 87, I believe.
I think that's 32.
Exactly, 32.
Yeah, 32. 87. There's an 87 out there for a first.
I have no idea.
I'll tell you this right now. But no, I think it's 32. And 33 is the second appearance. But I saw that and I passed it up. It was the first time I ever passed up an issue because I didn't exactly know who Moon Knight was. It was a cool looking cover, but they were selling it for $50 and I should have bought it, not knowing at the time. I screwed up. I know. I'm a horrible person. But I made up what I lack in that. I made up for in thousands of other comics. So, but the reason I like him so much is people try to describe him as Marvel's Batman, and that is so wrong. If you ever get a chance to pick up even the Bendis run, which is not the best run, but still it shows his maniacal imagination side, like his schizophrenia.
The Bendis run is the 12-issue series, right?
Yeah. I think it's 12 or 18.
Yeah,
but
something like that.
It's the one where he thinks he's Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Cap.
That's right. Yep.
And he has all their powers, but he really doesn't. He just has knockoff shields and stuff, and kitchen knives on his hands. It's great.
That was the one run I stayed away from because I didn't think Bendis could do a good job.
And that's the one where he was promoting his own TV show at the time too. He was
really?
Spector producing the movie or the show Moon Knight, which is hilarious because I hope they do that with the Disney Plus show.
See, I always thought Bendis did a great job on teams, but solo books, Ultimate Spider-Man aside, I didn't think he did very well. That's why I always
hated
kind of
Superman.
stayed away from it. Yeah, that is a general consensus, I think.
Yeah. No, but him on Justice League right now is good. But side tangent again.
Yeah,
as we usually do with this show, we always go on tangents, and I don't know why, but it's always happened. So, without further ado, Moon Knight's my five. Tim, what's yours?
My number five is going to be one of the big two, and it is Daredevil.
Very good pick.
Yeah,
I'm surprised at five, though.
Well, there's a reason for that. So the other four, I think, are a little more personal to me than what Daredevil is. But Daredevil, to me, is one of my favorite characters, top five, because like with a lot of Marvel characters, he's more grounded. He's goes through a lot more real life situations, I guess, in any sense that you could say for superheroes. Yeah. But I think my favorite run of Daredevil was when Mark Waid was doing it. Right after he was outed as Daredevil and all that stuff, and Waid took over, and it was the same volume that Superior Spider-Man appeared in. That's when I really fell in love with Daredevil. I mean, I liked Daredevil before, and one of my favorite 2-issue storylines was, I think it's 304 and 305 in Daredevil, where Spider-Man comes in and they fight the Surgeon General. It's a throwaway villain, and nobody gives a shit about her, nobody cares about her or anything like that, and it was just a great issue, and I loved that. And I loved Daredevil, the Fall from Grace storyline, and all of that stuff. And I loved his part in Civil War when he was in there too, when he was being taken away to the negative zone, and he looked back to Tony Stark, and he said, "Don't forget your 7 silver," and stuff like that. I thought that was absolutely amazing. So yeah, Daredevil comes in at my number 5. Daredevil also happens to be my brother Matt's favorite character. So there's a lot of connection there with that.
There's a lot of emotional connection on that one for you.
Yeah,
I know that for a fact.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's why I was like, why 5? Like,
so okay, Jamie, you're number 4. What do you have?
Okay, and I don't really talk about this one this much, so you guys are everyone is probably listening to be a little surprised. But coming in at number 4 is Firestorm.
Firestorm, okay.
And I think he is the most underrated character, underutilized character. It seems like anything they use him in is to mess up, and then they have to fix even more. Well, and it's sad because even in something like Doomsday Clock, he turned people into straight glass, and as soon as someone touched them, they shattered. So they killed them.
Wow.
Like, and he does, like, how can I put it? He's had so many different hosts between the two people.
Yeah.
They never had a great connection with the character.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from the show on, with Legend,
the Flash.
Well, with Flash, he started off, it was great. Yeah. And then I can't remember the other one.
Legends of Tomorrow.
Legends of Tomorrow. I want to say League of Legends for some reason. I was like, what? But Legends of Tomorrow, and they kind of utilized him more there, and he became more of a popular character. But even before, like, I have the first 5 issues of the first series where you get the first appearance of Killer Frost.
Really?
I have them.
Nice.
And trust me, dude, those are hard to get. But I found them, and I found them for a good price, so I wasn't gonna I wasn't gonna pass those up. I mean, unlike the Moon Knight one.
I'll tell you, Firestorm was like the last character I expected you to say.
Oh yeah, no, but I love the fact, like, his power, he could take the oxygen out of the room. Like, how do you not utilize a character like that? And that's why that's always had a problem. I've had a problem. He can change your cells on a molecular level. And I know I'm using big words here because I read it. And they just don't utilize him in the correct way.
Well, it's like with Captain Atom in the DC universe, another underutilized character. Like every time I've seen Captain Atom be used in a major storyline or one of the Elseworld storylines, he's always used to end the world, or they use him as the nuclear deterrent to Superman. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's always like, you're just gonna go up there and you're gonna explode.
Yeah,
but we have a shield around it, so it's just gonna contain to that one area,
right?
And you're gonna go boom. But no, one of the reasons I do like it is because I remember my great grandmother used to give me money, like, when I was a baby, or not baby, but like a little kid, like that I can remember. And I just got into comics. Like, I remember this vividly. I had no idea what numbering was. I had no idea what series was. I was one of those people that ran through the back bins at that age and found what cover I liked the most. And 2 covers that always stuck out to me. I remember one was Hawkman number 16 off the 1990 line.
Yep.
That cover stuck out to me, and then Firestorm number 22 from the, I believe it's the 80s to 90s run, which is that big YSF 228 issue run.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I was sold at that point, and I read thing. Staples fell out of it. I had to rebuy
it. Nice.
So yeah, so number 4 for me is Firestorm. So Tim, what's explosive for you at number 4?
Well, what's explosive for me is usually in the darkness, and that would be Batman.
See, and I'm gonna be honest, right now, everyone would probably think, after me talking about all these Batman titles that I have, and Batman's not on my list.
That's surprising to me. That is so surprising. Batman takes my number 4 because when I was in comic books, like when I was just getting into them with my friends and stuff like that, that was during the Nightfall storyline and
Of course.
Death of Superman and all that stuff. And I mean, we were knee deep in that stuff, man. We were trading issues and going back and forth. And when Bane broke his back, that was like the end of the world to us. Whoa, this can't happen. What's going on here? I remember being a kid, even like when I got first into comic books, before the friends that I had, we were getting into stuff. The death of Robin, death of the family and stuff like that. I remember all of that. And I remember the 900 number and getting in trouble for calling the 900 number and stuff.
Yeah, that cost money back then.
Yeah, it did.
But, what was it? Real fast side tangent. Didn't the one dude like lie and like did it like 1,000 or like 100,000 times or something to kill him?
I think so. I think somebody hated Jason Todd so much that
they called for like 2 weeks straight.
Right, over and over and over again. But yeah, Batman comes in at my number 4. I can resonate with the character, but he's a character that I more enjoy viewing from afar, being a spectator instead of a participant. With Batman, I can't really do that, with the exception of a couple issues, like way back in the day. Well, not way back in the day, but New 52 when Damian died, I believe.
Yes.
You remember that? Yeah.
I read that whole series. I remember. For those who don't know, again, I'm collecting the whole New 52 series line, and I'm about halfway through, which is still a lot. But no, that whole thing when Damian died, like you've seen every writer depict him in the same way, not a different way, which was amazing.
Well, see, when that storyline happened, my brother had passed away not too long before that. So that story really, really connected with me. It's unfortunate that they brought Damian back because you don't have that emotion to it anymore. But I mean, yeah, with Batman, big events, big part of my youth growing up and stuff like that. One of the first movies I ever went to see with my dad was Batman 1989. And I can remember the summer of Batman and people lining up on the theaters and things like that. It was the greatest summer in the world going to see that and see Batman on the big screen. So yeah.
Back when there was no trailer for it, just was Keaton, Nicholson.
And the symbol, and that was it.
Yep.
So yeah, my number 4 is Batman. Jamie, who do you have for number 3?
This is gonna be a shocking.
If it's Green Lantern, we're shutting this off right now.
No. This is gonna be shocking.
Okay.
I say that with emphasis to everybody, but the God of Thunder himself, Thor.
Ooh, okay.
Is number 3, and the reason I say that is because Jason Aaron's was on Thor's run forever before he took over Avengers, which isn't that good, but he still writes Thor very well in the Avengers series. I'm not gonna lie. Since Donny Cates took over, which kind of impromptu'd me to keep reading Thor, but I didn't get in Thor till late. And that was before the movies. It was during the MCU. He had Jane Foster actually take over. There's a big thing with Marvel where they were having leading ladies as the characters, portraying the characters rather than the leading men.
Right.
So Jane Foster took over, but I loved the writing style of that because in there she was suffering from cancer, and every time she touched Mjolnir and transferred into Thor, all the radiation that was saving her would leave her body. So every time she would fight as Thor, she was dying.
Wow.
In real life. So that whole internal struggle, that it caught me. It made me love the character of Jane Foster, and then to have Unworthy Thor, which was another series part of it, and him trying to find his way back, become worthy again. Oh my God, dude, it tied in so well. So it was one of those stories that made you feel feelings that you never thought you could have.
Really?
And oh yes, from beginning to end.
See, I never really got into Thor all that much. Like I liked him as a supporting character in Avengers and things like that.
Oh yeah.
But
I always hated reading like every realm because I always felt so dumb trying to sound it out.
Jotunheim
and everybody's name, but I just kind of like go with the flow now.
Yeah.
Which is nice. But Cates goes back to Aaron's run on every aspect. He finds little pieces and just makes the puzzle go together. But yeah, Thor at number 3, man. Like
that's crazy. That's also unexpected. And
then that was even before the Thor rise of like we call it Ragnarok, Infinity War, and Endgame, and obviously Fat Thor.
Yeah.
which everyone can relate to.
Big Lebowski Thor.
Yes. But that was before all that. So it was nice to be on the seat where I was just watching everyone else kind of come in.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
nice.
yeah.
Okay.
So we're at 3 now. I want to know what you got there, Tim.
Okay. So,
I mean, I shocked the world here with some thunder. So.
Well, I am gonna go more for a slice of pizza on this one.
Oh, let me guess. No, I'm not gonna guess because I'll be wrong. I usually am.
Well, you might be right on this. So my number 3 and my nephew Christian, I want to thank him for letting me think outside the box a little bit on this one.
Shout out to Christian on that one.
That's right. My number 3 is Raphael from Ninja Turtles.
Knew it. I should have said it. See, this is why I do horrible on Do You Know on the podcast, because I'm like, I'll say it, and then I'm like, I'm wrong.
Well, you're not this
right.
time. So yeah, Raphael. He was the turtle that I could relate to the most. He was the one going through the emotion. I didn't have an attitude when I was a kid, but by God, I felt alienated and I felt alone sometimes. And Raph feels like that all the time.
And you had size?
Do what?
And you had size you played with?
I did. I absolutely, yeah. My size. But anyways. No, so yeah, Raphael is a
size
character.
Of enjoyment.
Size of depression, yes. But Raphael was a character that I could relate to a lot when the movie came out, and my dad took us to see that. We were sitting in the aisle of the theater. It was the only theater in town, one screen, and we were sitting in the aisle, and when the Turtles kicked the snot out of those guys that were trying to beat up April O'Neil, and he's looking out of the manhole cover, and there's a sigh, and he says, "Damn, we lost it. We thought that was the coolest thing ever."
Dude, I revisited that movie just because I usually do like every now and then.
Yeah,
I didn't realize how many like adult jokes.
Dude, there's a lot in there.
Like, especially when he's like, "You're claustrophobic, aren't you?" And Casey Jones is like, "I never looked at another man before in my life." And I was just like,
no, like, he means you're afraid of enclosed spaces.
But yeah, no, that just came to mind. Like, it's just, there's so many like innuendos and stuff in there. It's hilarious. That
whole movie is a masterpiece, and anybody that says that any other Turtles movie is better than that is wrong. But no, yeah, Raphael, number 3. It's a character that I can really relate to. I can really connect with, and when I read Turtles comics, I'm always looking for where Raph's going to be so I can follow along his story. I don't care so much about Michelangelo or Leonardo, but Raphael, Donatello, Raphael especially, yeah, I'm sticking with him. So Raph is my number 3. Who do you got as your number 2?
So number 2, he hails from Bloodhaven.
Oh, I know who this is.
It is Dick Grayson himself, Nightwing. I don't know why. I've always been geared towards the Bat family more than Batman. Mm-hmm. I've always been geared towards the second Robin. So like, you have Robin, and when they become their own alias or own ego, or they have their own character like description later on. It's been great. You have like the Nightwings, the Red Hoods.
Yeah.
You have the Batgirls. The Red Robins, the Drakes. It just keeps going. I like those iterations because you take one personality and you make it anew.
Mm-hmm.
But you keep the same character phase that you had, and you just work with them, and it's amazing on the detail of this.
See, and DC excels at that, taking legacy characters and continuing them on. Robin is a prime example of that, but each Robin had its own personality, with Dick Grayson all the way to Damian.
Yeah, and the reason for that, I liked Dick Grayson before I read this. But I never really got into him until I read this. So during the darkest or blackest night event, he was Batman.
Yeah, that's right, because this is after Final Crisis, right?
Yeah, and after that, everyone was trying to, like, he would put himself down like, I'm not the best Batman, and everybody else was putting him down. But one person built him up to be the best Batman, and Bruce left a letter for him saying you were meant to have the cowl. Like, he left a letter with Alfred. He's like, you were meant to have it. Alfred said the same thing. He goes, since you came to us, you were meant to have that after Bruce is gone. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever, to have that incorporated within the Blackest Night storyline.
Yeah.
That I went back and I did buy the 100, and I think it's 189 issue run of his first full length series.
Holy smokes!
But I got him cheap, man. You go to conventions and you just kind of like
Fill your box.
Fill the boxes. Like either you do $1 or 25 pence.
Yeah.
You just run through them. But I found them all. I have all the series so far, even the ones people probably don't know. Like the New Order, which is really good.
Well, let me ask you this: how did you feel about the Grayson title from New 52?
I loved it.
Really?
I absolutely, well, because you had Tim Seeley writing it first, and then you had Tom King come on and take over. I thought it was the same thing with, like, okay, I said this on our very first episode of the podcast. People complain they want change, but when you want change and get change, you don't want change.
You don't want the change that they make.
Yes, you want your type of change, which would be a little, instead, like the writers turn it up to 100.
Yeah.
And you don't like it. Well, that's too bad because you're asking for it.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're gonna ask for it, don't cry about it. Like,
so
people cried about Rick Grayson after he got shot in the head. You're crying because he's got amnesia. He doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know who any of the Bat family is. He's basically a cabbie that has flashbacks to him knowing martial arts, and that's all he's got.
Wow.
And he's trying to save it, still in Bloodhaven. And you got a bunch of cops running around in Nightwing gear from all the decades that he had it, being the Nightwings.
Yeah.
And everyone hated it. I'm like, dude, like, I know it doesn't seem cool, but there's a reason for it. They're writing towards something.
Right. Okay. You know, right on.
They're not sitting there to make this Rick Grayson character the beneficial character of all time. They're doing it because there's another story arc coming up. And even though it lasted, like, I think it was like 12, 13 issues and tied into Joker War, after Joker War was over. And we got, Dick Grayson back, thankfully. But it's just everyone wants change. Like, I enjoyed everything that he's done, but with Grayson itself, back to what we were saying before.
Yeah.
Grayson was a good take on a James Bond-esque, like, it was that billionaire philanthropist playboy that we needed, and not just said, but as a spy.
Right
and
on.
It was great. And my favorite line in that whole thing was when is hilarious because everyone makes fun of me about it because they're always like, we need to know your sexuality now. There's a line by Midnighter in there, and for those who don't know, Midnighter is gay, and he's watching Nightwing jump from train to train, and he goes, I could watch him jump all day. And I just died, dude. I literally died. I read that and laughed so hard. And I tell people that's my favorite line. If you saw the panels and read how he said it, you're like, this dude literally is just staring at Dick Grayson's butt the entire time, jumping from train to train. And like, and they like over exaggerate it. It's great.
That's amazing.
That was the best line in the whole thing. But
right on.
I thought the storyline was great too, other than the one line. But it was just, it's one of those things that like it won't ever leave my mind. I wish it would, but it doesn't.
Okay, so your number 2 is Nightwing.
Yeah.
Okay, right on. Or Dick Grayson. Nightwing.
Dick Grayson, Nightwing. Yeah. Or the Target, as you guys have learned also.
The Target. Okay, so my number 2 is your number 5. My number 2 is Moon Knight.
See how these things work? It's crazy how life works.
Right? Okay, so Moon Knight, Moon Knight is a fascinating character to me, and where you said that a lot of people say that he is Marvel's Batman, that may be true on surface level, or maybe initially why the character was created in the first place. But beyond that, like if you peel away the first layer, it has nothing to do with Batman after that. And that's where the similarities end. Moon Knight is his own unique character. And I love the fact that you have a character with schizophrenia. You know what I mean? And he is completely batshit crazy. But Yeah, I love that. Okay, so the original series.
Oh, we all know how you feel about that. If you guys don't, go
I
check
hate
out
it.
the latest episode of the Codex podcast. We can hear all about it.
I can't stand the original series, his first volume. I think it is atrocious. I think it is horrible. I think
Enough bad words. Let's move on.
I think there are a few gems in there, but beyond that, I don't think the character really found his footing until his small stint in West Coast Avengers, and then when Finch was doing the artwork on the later run. I think it's volume 4 or volume 5. I can't remember exactly.
I believe it's 4.
But people know what I'm talking about. It's like 30 issues and one annual. And it's during Civil War. So that is, I think, the quintessential Moon Knight run. That's when you really get into the character, because you take all that stuff that happened before, treat it as canon. Up to this point, the man is broken, he's beaten, his mind is fractured, and it's a wonderful story. And as soon as I started reading that, that's when I fell in love with the character. I was like, this is the Moon Knight that I've always wanted to read, and it's perfect. So yeah, Moon Knight's my number 2, hardcore 100%, and I'm beyond excited for the show.
Oh yeah, everyone's got to be at this point. It's like, it's right there, and then that little snippet we got. Oh. Okay,
so Jamie, we're getting to the number 1 spot. So refresh us again on who you chose before, and then tell me your number 1.
All right, so at number 5, I had Moon Knight, which was your number 2.
Yeah.
And your review of, that's exactly what your review of the first series when it's number 2.
Yes, exactly.
Number 4, I had Firestorm.
Yeah.
At number 3, we have the God of Thunder himself, Thor. At number 2, we had Dick Grayson's Nightwing.
Okay, so I think I know who your number 1 is.
Yeah, I think
if you don't say it, it's going to surprise me.
At number 1, Jubilee. No.
I knew it.
No, my number 1 is Hal Jordan Greenland.
That's right.
And it's always hard for me when it comes to picking between him and Kyle, because both of them were predominant in my life. Kyle had that. I think, like, internally, I became a graphic designer and went to all this because that's what Kyle Rayner was.
Right on.
I think it was like subjective. Like, I was reading it and I was like, this is life changing. I'm gonna change my life around. Just do it this way, like he does. I don't think that's the case, but in my mind, that's how I play it. But he was predominant. But dude, when it comes to Hal Jordan, there is no other Lantern, and there will never be a better Lantern. People write him horribly, as anyone that's reading the new series, or if you're Grant Morrison, but when Jeff Johns took hold of him.
That's one of the greatest Green Lantern stories ever written.
It won awards and was on the front of the comic itself that won awards. Like, how many times have you seen Eisner awards on stuff? How many times have you seen this one X-Men awards inside?
Yep.
I've never seen that. For Gray's writer.
Well, didn't Jeff Johns choose to do Green Lantern? Like, that was the stories he wanted to tell.
And he was the one that said, I don't want Kyle, I want my Hal.
Yeah.
I want my guy, I want Hal. And I was like, all right. Like, I was younger. And as soon as I started reading it, I think it was I found issue, I think it was 13, and it was
Are we talking like the new 52 run?
No, we're talking
right before
right before Blackest Night.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it was basically like a prelude to it. It was building up.
Yep.
Issue 13 had Cyborg Superman.
Ooh, nice.
And it was that I can't think of what the word is now. I just had
monocle.
No. It's when they use old covers.
Oh, an homage.
Homage. There you go. I was gonna say massage, but it wasn't right. An homage, and it was where Hal Jordan's got all the rings on his fingers.
Mm-hmm.
But this one has Cyborg Superman on the cover with all the lantern rings. Ooh. For the Green Lantern, and I thought that was so cool, and the way it looked, the way it felt, dude. That whole series.
Wasn't Van Siever doing the artwork at that time?
Yes,
that's right. Okay,
I think so. Unless that was I think that was something else. I'm gonna look it up as I'm talking.
Okay,
because it's gonna bother me till then. But no, that whole series, you had Sinestro Wars, you had everything you could throw, and then when you came into Blackest Night, it just stole the show. And it wasn't even that aspect. It was the way the story was told. It was the way they portrayed them. It was everything you wanted in a comic and more. And it was something that, oh, hang on, let me see. I think you're at it. Where is it? I lied so bad. It was 8, not 12. But let's see who's drawing it.
Either way, but I mean,
penciler was Reyes.
Okay, right on. Okay.
But even with that whole series, it was just like, it made me a Jordan fan. It made me want to go back. And then, like we just reviewed issue 48 of Green Lantern, the first appearance of Kyle Rayner.
Emerald, yeah.
That whole beginning is just amazing as well. Like the way he's got that struggle the entire time, and then just to see him lose it and snap finally.
That is one of the most powerful issues I had read in a while.
Wait till you get through the arc.
Well, I remember it from back in the day, but I don't think
chest.
I've read it since then. But I remember the whole event, the reign of the Superman and the destruction of Coast City, and then this storyline in Green Lantern with him dealing with that. And I think I said it on the podcast that just watching Hal Jordan go through that, you saw the panel where he went from a hero to a villain. And I loved how that transition happened.
And even to say he can play God is the scariest thing you could ever think of.
Oh, yeah.
Because that man can. And it'd be scary if he did. And we got a glimpse of that. That's it.
Right. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Green Lantern #1. That's an obvious choice and a great choice.
And now I'm concerned about what Tim's is, because I thought I knew what Tim's was, and I was completely wrong.
Okay, so who do you think my #1's going to be?
As of right now?
Yeah.
I kind of know.
Okay.
But I thought you were going to throw me off.
Okay. No, I don't think so. So, like you, let me go ahead and start at my 5, and I'll give you my #1.
Yep, go for it.
So, again, with 5...
I'm pretty sure it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be spectacular if you think about it. So my #5 is Daredevil. My #4 is Batman. 3 is Raphael. 2 is Moon Knight. And sensationally, my #1 is The Amazing Spider-Man.
Stop, baby.
That's right. Spider-Man is my all-time favorite character. I love Spider-Man. He's the character that I could relate to the most when I was a kid, and him going through all the things that he went through. Every Spider-Man fan that's a young boy wants his Gwen Stacy or his Mary Jane, you know what I mean? And with Spider-Man, he was a regular dude that just had super awesome powers, and it was somebody that you could relate to. He was picked on as a teenager, he was still picked on when he was in college and as an adult, and he still felt that sense of like nerdiness and geekiness and things like that, and still felt like a genuine outcast. Always worked alone, rarely worked with other people, but the people that he did work with, he really loved and admired and was very loyal and passionate about. And I really enjoyed that. His friendship with the Human Torch is classic. His friendship with Daredevil is even more classic, and it just goes on.
His
and on.
Weird relationship with Deadpool is even better.
Yeah,
this bromance, I should say.
But I mean, Spider-Man is the everyman that was given superpowers, and he goes and web slings through the city and takes care of bad guys and loves his Aunt May and loves his wife, and in alternate universes his daughter, and things like that. And Gwen Stacy, the tragic event that happened with her, he still loves her, and Mary Jane is absolutely okay with that, you know what I mean? And it's some of the best comic book stories in history are Spider-Man stories, with what Stan Lee did or anybody else that has taken over. Even Dan Slott did some wonderful stuff, Brand New Day not being one of them. Yeah, I mean, everybody wants a crack at Spider-Man, and some people can write him very, very well. Some people can't write him for anything. But when you get a good Spider-Man story, you get a great Spider-Man story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just, to me, it's one of those things. Like, Spidey's in my top 10, he in my top 5.
Yeah.
because I could relate to him, but I wasn't with the whole. I've always liked the, how can I put it? The obscure characters, the underdog characters,
the lesser knowns.
Yeah, I've always been one of those guys that's like, if you got, you know, you don't have the odds. They're not set in your favor, basically.
Right. Yeah.
No matter what, whether it's writing, art, or just the way they are depicted. So I definitely have that respect for number one. I mean, I feel like that's every child when you think of like them. It's like with like, you know, they're trying to somehow be like Spider-Man in some way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Birthday parties, everything. I mean, I remember trying to client web crawl up stuff that should never have been.
I remember a time when my son, he was little, I think 3 or 4, and he had a Spider-Man costume. Mm-hmm. Them cheap ones that they used to put out all the time with every character imaginable. He had a Spider-Man one, and my daughter had a bright pink speckled Batgirl costume, and Ethan's costume was hanging up in the closet, and I opened the closet door. I just wasn't paying attention, putting clothes away, and I saw that Spider-Man costume sitting there. And my ex-wife at the time, I said, "Dear, do we have a superhero living here?" And she goes, "No, why?" I said, "Come here and look." I said, "What's that?" "Oh, well, I guess we do." I was like, "All right, cool." Okay, so that's our top 5 for today. Again, this is just a subjective list. This is our personal favorites. Jamie's chosen his, I chose mine. That's what we went through today. We're going to be bringing more of this stuff to you in the future. If you have any suggestions or ideas for topics or other top 5s that we should go over, absolutely let us know in the comments below, or if you see this video on Facebook, go ahead and leave a comment there. Jamie, you got anything else to say before we get out of here tonight?
None other than thank you guys again for always watching and contributing. I mean, it's been great, everything we've been doing so far. We're changing some things up in the show, but other than that, I mean, we're having fun, and it just keeps getting better and better every time. So guys, yeah, exactly, always remember to comment, like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content that we're putting out, because this is even brand new, so I wouldn't want to miss this. And drop some comments, please drop some comments of your top 5, or even, if you think we're wrong, tell us why.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd love to have that argument with somebody. Tell me Hal Jordan ain't number 1.
Well, all right, guys. Thanks again. Once again, don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube, the Codex Podcast. You can find us there. Go ahead and drop us a line. Say hello. Again, you know the schedule. Videos coming out, and it'll be on YouTube, and it's on Facebook as well for you to check out. Once again, I am Tim with Codex. Over here to either side of me is Jamie. That's right. You guys have a good one. We'll see you next time.